it was still District 380 as the first non-charter member of the Rotary Club of Pasig, 1971. For 35 years, he was a Reno, hindi po liver spread, kundi Rotarian in name only, until he was elected club president during one of his frequent absences in 2005 to serve in 2006 up to 2007. During his term as club president, he built 159 houses for informal settlers in the RC Pasig GK Village in Barangay Pinagbuhatan, Sitio Kaliwag, Pasig City, the largest Rotary-assisted housing project for informal settlers in the Philippines at that time. He was the most outstanding club president for 2006 to 2007, and RC Pasig was chosen as the most outstanding club, winning 37 district awards and a 4 Avenues of Service Award from Rotary International. In 2009, he ran unopposed and was elected as a district governor for District 3800 for Rotary year 2011-2012, my governor. He joined the RC Club Society Trustee Circle in 2012 and stepped up to Chair Circle in 2013, shortly before he was appointed to be one of the first 42 senior Rotarians to become endowment and major gifts advisor around the world. He stepped up to the Art Club Society Foundation Circle, giving $1 million to the Rotary Foundation. He was appointed as the 16th Filipino training leader to the 2014 International Assembly, the first and only training leader to date from District 3800. He was then elected in 2015 as chairman of the Philippine College of Rotary Governors, serving in Rotary year 2015-2016, and as chairman of the Philippine Rotary Magazine Foundation, serving in Rotary year 2016 and 2017. On September 30th, 2015, he was unanimously nominated as Rotary International Director for Rotary year 2018 to 2020 by a Zone 7A nominating committee, only the 9th Filipino ever elected to the position. He was then appointed as a member of the Basic Education Literacy Major Gifts Initiative, serving in Rotary year 2017-2018, and a member of International Polio Plus Committee for Rotary year 2018-2019. He has served as Vice Chair, 2013 Taipei Institute General Program Trainer, 2014 Kota Kinabalu Institute, Training Leader, DDTS, GETS, GNTS, 2015 Manila Institute. He was a training leader for GNTS at the 2017 Taipei Rotary Institute and the convener for Rotary for the 2018 Yogyakarta Rotary Institute and the 2019 Manila Rotary Institute. At present, he's constructing the 3-storied RC Pasig Medical Center for the poor on a 600 square meter lot adjacent to the RC Pasig GK Village to serve the community in Barangay Pinagbuhatan. The Rotary Room in the Paul and Jean Harris home in Comley Park in Chicago has been named after him after he donated $1 million to complete the renovation of the home of the founder of Rotary. Allow me to end my introduction to my governor with a prayer, sabi nga ni San Agustin, singing is praying twice. O Raffy, tunay kang katangi-tangi, panalangin namin patuloy kang biyaya lagi, kasama ng iyong labas and family. O Raffy, maraming salamat sa mga tulong mo lagi, pagkat maasahan ka, hindi lang sa bansa natin, katangi-tangi ka, kahit saan dako ng daigdig, O go Raffy, panalangin lagi namin, magandang kalusugan at kaligtasan lagi. O go Raffy, kay maraming salamat, katangi-tangi kahit lumisan. At nasa ibang bansa'y kapiling ka pa rin namin, naway pagpalain ka lagi, hanggang may Rotary, maaasahan ka lagi. O go Raffy! Pagpalain ka nawa lagi, go Raffy. Fellow Rotarians, ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor for me to introduce my governor, majestic governor, past Rotary International Director, Rafael Raffy M. Garcia III. Thank you.
Transforming Governor Anthony Tony P. Parungao, District Governor-elect Augusto Oji Soliman, District Governor nominee Arturo Bobby Tanyag, District Governor nominee designate Ronald Pope Solis, 2021-2022 district officers of District 3800, other distinguished Rotary leaders, guests, and friends. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Greetings from San Francisco, California, where I flew 4 months ago to get my COVID-19 vaccines, because I wasn't sure when I could get them if I had waited to be given the shots in the Philippines. When I came here almost 4 months ago, the Philippine COVID response was not doing too badly, especially compared to the United States, which had the worst in the world with over 2 million confirmed cases and 346,000 deaths as of January 1, 2021. Comparatively, the Philippines only had 472,542 cases, of which only 9,230 had died. On top of this, 95% of the confirmed cases were mild or were even asymptomatic. You would have thought that I would have felt as though I was jumping from the frying pan into the fire when I came here. I was wearing double masks and even a face shield when I boarded my ANA flight for San Francisco. And I was surprised when I got to the United States to find that only face masks were needed and face shields were not required. There was no checking whether I had a negative COVID swab test when I arrived. No contact tracing, nothing. And we very quickly got our appointments for our Moderna vaccinations. And we were surprised that there were no lines where we went, and it took less than 45 minutes to complete all procedures. This is why, since then, because of the full speed ahead Biden plan on vaccinations, the United States has experienced a dramatic turnaround that allowed many states and cities to open up. By May 5, 2021, 248 million vaccine doses had been given out in the United States, with 106 million US citizens, or 32.3% of the 330 million population, being fully vaccinated. 148 million had received at least their first vaccination. The Philippines, on the other hand, had gone from okay to a dramatic downspin, especially with the new variants surging uncontrollably and causing more infections and deaths than had been experienced in the past. As of May 5, 2021, of almost 1.1 million Filipinos, with 62,713 being active cases, and a total of 17,800 deaths. All hospitals were full of COVID patients, such that even rural hospitals had been converted into COVID wards as well. The mass vaccination program in the US has caused the dramatic decline in daily new infections and even daily new deaths. San Francisco, where I am, had shifted from red to orange to yellow, allowing many bars and restaurants to open up with up to 50% capacity for indoor dining. We were booked to fly home last April 29 via ANA. However, the US issued a level 4 travel advisory on the Philippines last April 20, grouping the Philippines with 100 other countries where US citizens were not allowed to travel to. When ANA canceled our flight, we had no choice but to try to rebook our flight home. And the earliest new flight we could get was July already. So instead of delivering the speech from Manila, I'm forced to deliver this to you virtually from my home in San Francisco. Many Rotarians are asking what the future of Rotary would be like considering the effects of this coronavirus pandemic. What will our membership look like? Will it survive not being able to meet in person for so long? We've had a couple of virtual international conventions already, and we're still preparing for another one this June. When will we finally be able to meet in person again? Considering that next year's international convention is in Houston, will it be possible for an in-person international convention, at least for fully vaccinated delegates? Will the Philippines be able to host an in-person international convention if it wins its bid for the 2026 International Convention? Hopefully, the pandemic would have waned by that time, or enough Rotarians would have been fully vaccinated to allow an in-person international convention. We think we stand a good chance against Krakow in Poland because we can, while Krakow will be lucky to get 15,000. Rotary International can definitely do with the revenues from the 30,000 more delegates. These are very relevant questions to ask, especially at a Distas where the leaders of a district learn from each other on how to be more cohesive in working with club leaders upside down. One of the biggest topics of conversations around Rotary these days is membership and membership growth. Rotary International measures the achievements of club presidents around how they are able to Rotary Foundation during their year of service, strengthening the $1 million mark for TRF contributions. However, for the last 20 years, Rotary's membership has been stuck at 1,200,000. While we bring in 100,000 new members, another 100,000 as well to the back, this revolving door. As incoming district officers of districts, the clubs assigned to you meet the objectives that they will define in the strategic plans that they will present to your district governor. Many people offer good advice But there is a second topic that is as important, if not more so, than membership acquisition, and that is the Rotary Club of Pasig has always been one of the largest clubs in District 3800. Ever since I grew it back to 78 members from a low of 35 in 2006-2007. We had once been as big as 98 members. Growing to over 100 had always been the glass ceiling that President since 2006-2007. We are hoping to finally break through this transformational year as we celebrate our golden anniversary. Almost there. In 2011-2012, when I was the district governor, requirements of President Kalyan Banerjee's presidential citation was it's important that before June 30 of the current road or had resigned, or those who had not. Otherwise, the succeeding president will have to do the cleanup on July 1, automatically killing its membership retention numbers, because otherwise the club would have to pay RI dues for people who are no longer there or are no longer interested in staying as Rotarians. During my year, I had a club that started $35 and grew to 100 by the end of the calendar year. They had grown by 300 more in a newly chartered club. For the presidential citation that year, because the previous president had not cleaned out the 10 members who had already left the club before June 30 of that year. This caused friction within the club, and several club members, including the past president, resigned. The other members of the club were so upset at what happened, they did a huge loss to District 3800 and a tremendous gain for the receiving district. Incoming club they only realized that the members that they started with, if they want what gives value back to their members. It is not good enough to just keep them busy. It is more important to make them do what they are interested in. That many clubs lose 50% of their 5% within 2 to 3. And so club presidents need to do something to keep their members interested in the things that the club is doing, enough for them to want to stay and stay and stay. One way of doing this is by looking back on some things. The club can focus on, for example, the club presidents of RC Pasig have been making monstrous efforts to get all physically able members to participate in all club service projects. Fortunately, we have plenty of this. One weekend, we went on a family day to Ipo Dam for tree planting at the request of then RI President Ian and their families to go to plant at least 20 trees per family, or a total of 1,000 trees. Many of these Rotarians were less than 2 years old in the club at the time. Great way to engage new Rotary members. Many of them are still with our club up to now. I'm sure our members, old and new, will enjoy being out under the sun, bonding with their children and getting them involved in Rotary service. A second focus can be on leadership development. We have started promoting the setting up of Rotary Community Corps in the communities that have been benefiting from our service projects, especially those that involve global grants and district grants. To get them involved, we assign a new member to coordinate the grant activities and to work with the community leaders that compose the Rotary from our service projects using global or district grants. This ensures that the project is performed correctly and is monitored properly. And something we have not forgotten to put emphasis on is fellowship. RC Pasig has even adopted a five-way test of the same five-way test. At the Rotary Club of Pasig, we recite the four-way test a little differently. We ask, is it true? Is it fair? Is it good? And are we friends? And then we ask our fifth-way test. Are you enjoy? Yes, enjoy. You must enjoy doing the work of Rotarians. You must enjoy being with Rotarians. Through all this, we would have learned that membership retention is even more important than membership recruitment. We are Rotarians. We change the world as we live our favorite motto of service above self. For Rotary year 2021-2022, RI President-elect Shekhar Mehta has made each one bring one his mantra for membership. This was also my mantra when I was the Dist3800 district. But let me suggest that to make it truly effective, the mantra should say, each one, bring one, keep all, so that no one would be lost and no one would be left behind. In other words, recruit, but make sure to retain. As Rotarians, let us make a difference in our world. Let us open doors to opportunities for service as Rotary connects the world. Let us serve to change lives. And we pray that RI President-elect Shekhar Mehta and his mother have both won their battles against COVID. Please stay safe and keep safe. Good evening, shukriya, and thank you very much for the opportunity to speak.